What can you do as an individual to make a genuine difference? That's the topic for this final film in our What Will It Take? A Deeper Approach to Nature Conservation series. As you can see, I'm out of the studio again for this one, here at our own Komsberg Wilderness Nature Reserve in South Africa. It's a huge place, 30,700 acres in size or 17 miles across. A great example of what a small group of dedicated individuals can do. And we're always open to others getting involved with our team. Anyway, we'll talk about Komsberg a bit more later in the film. One of the simplest and best things you can do to help the environment is to think carefully about human overpopulation, which was the subject of the first film in this short series. Our simple advice when it comes to having children is 2 or less. You can't get away from the numbers. The mathematics is the mathematics. 8 billion people is far too many because nature gets crowded out. We dominate. Work out what you think and talk to others, especially a partner, early on. Seriously consider the option of not even having kids. You can still lead a fulfilling life without having children. If you're older, you can talk to the younger members of your family about this crucial matter. At some point in the future, there won't be billions of people. I'm certain that we'll one day intentionally decide to greatly reduce this huge number so the planet's ecology can flourish once again without being hammered by us. Another basic decision you can make is to consume less, a lot less. It's simple. Don't buy as much stuff, sticking to what you really need, plus an occasional treat. And don't distract yourself by going on one holiday after another or with those self-indulgent weekend breaks. You don't have to follow like sheep. Of course, this advice to consume less, which has been talked about for decades, hasn't really been taken seriously. And the reason is obvious when you think about it. If you lack deep meaning and purpose in your life, you're likely going to fill the void with one or more distractions, compensating for what's missing, taking your mind off the boredom and frustration. So the aim must be to do something better with your time, something which has greater meaning. Taking less is part of a genuine solution. Going for a walk or a cycle ride, which costs little or nothing, are commonly suggested examples of this reduction in materialism. This is fine as far as it goes, but such advice doesn't go deep enough. So, in addition to taking less, you really need to proactively give more for there to be a significant difference. This should be in the form of doing something worthwhile to help others, with the aim of making the wider world a better place. That's what we're doing as an organisation here at Komsberg Wilderness Nature Reserve in South Africa. We bought a large sheep farm in the middle of nowhere and transformed it back into a home for nature. Then we bought another adjoining farm, also large, doubling the available size for wildlife. Nature reserves need to be as big as possible because wild animals require a lot of space. Some species are fiercely territorial, but the most important consideration is being able to provide sufficient food and water throughout the year as they move about. So size matters. I'm proud to say again that Komsberg is 30,700 acres or 17 miles across, which is bigger than some national parks. We had to work incredibly hard to make this happen. First, we had to do years of fundraising to be able to buy the land itself. Then we had to purchase all the fencing materials, then carry everything into place, before erecting it all as a legal and practical necessity. 98 kilometres or 61 miles of it, including up and down mountains. It's taken years of blood, sweat and tears. We also had to take down miles and miles of internal fencing that was once used to divide the land into different sections for sheep farming. A laborious and often tedious job. And that was before any reintroductions took place of species that used to be historically found here, an essential part of the rewilding process. It's taken a small but dedicated and determined group of individuals to achieve this. Each of us has been willing to do whatever's necessary. It's impossible for one person to do something like this on their own. There must be a team. Again, if you're interested, think about joining us. Unusually, we've deliberately chosen to do all of this and more by working on a non-paid basis. As we saw in film number 3, charitable organisations usually waste huge amounts of money paying themselves. We're pioneering a better way, purposely doing what we do as non-paid professionals. We established Comsberg Wilderness Nature Reserve over 20 years ago, obviously for wildlife conservation purposes, but also to demonstrate what can be achieved with the right attitude and approach. And, of course, this is just one example of what can and needs to be done in the world. It's all about being the best you can be, going beyond those silly self-imposed limitations that you pick up early on in life as lessons on how to behave from your family and friends and everyone else around you. There are 2 basic parts to being effective. Obviously, you have to learn how to be capable. But at the same time, you also have to learn about psychological avoidance, how it messes everyone up, causing small-mindedness, then to wean yourself off this seductive strategy. We're back to the number 1 problem again, the me first or me mentality that we looked at in the previous film. It needs to be challenged and changed. This mother of all complications is at the root of everything, so there's no escaping it. You have to logically and courageously face the baggage that's been accumulated down the years, then sort it out, bit by bit. You can't realistically expect significant change for the better unless you're prepared to look at yourself, warts and all. Staying in a dumbed-down, normalised, mediocre mindset isn't an option. It's that simple. And besides, developing your human potential is a good thing, a worthy pursuit and a great use of life. Switching off lights when they're not needed will save a tiny bit of electricity. The same goes if you only fill the kettle with whatever water you need boiling rather than overfilling it. And buying more food than you need to eat, letting it go off to waste, is just dumb, a sign of a ridiculously spoilt society. Yes, if many people make tiny changes, it's true they all add up. And it also saves money. But this isn't really happening after many decades of education and increased awareness. The scale of self-obsession, self-indulgence and self-pampering is way over the top and grossly underestimated by most environmentalists. The usual superficial approach hasn't worked. It isn't working. And it's not about to start working. It's therefore time for everyone to open their eyes and admit this. There's no getting away from the blunt truth that people's current mentality and behaviour is the main or core problem. And if we want things to get better, then we've got to change how we are, individually and collectively. Such fundamental change isn't just a good thing for nature conservation, for the environment. It's also long overdue for us humans. We're desperately in need of authenticity, integrity, fulfilment, togetherness, and a deeper purpose. It's a win-win approach. Look at the current so-called mental health crisis. Think about how many people are one loose screw away from becoming completely unhinged, dependent upon drink, antidepressants or illegal drugs, comfort eating, doing too much shopping, having that next absolutely fabulous super exotic holiday or whatever. These things are nothing more than sticky plasters or quick fixes. They don't last or have real substance. Those false faces don't hide the hollowness that's behind the eyes, at least not when you wake up and see what's happening. And all of the contradiction and hypocrisy stinks. So a genuine solution to help the environment will also benefit us. We've become divorced from what's natural, from what's real. And whereas it's good that life is now physically easier than it used to be, we're squandering an opportunity to progress further and be more. It's unfortunate there's so much nonsense talked about personal growth. The bullshit surrounding this topic is so rampant that it's enough to put most sensible people off going anywhere near the idea of changing. We've produced a standalone film addressing this mess, explaining what's what, including what's been missed and what's previously gone wrong. We're genuine experts, pioneers, proud to be different, so I know what I'm talking about. This all-important psychology of attitude is the key to our high degree of success in nature conservation. There'll be a link to this not-to-be-missed film in the description box below. It really is worth watching, a great follow-up to this short series. There'll also be a link to the trailer for our series of 42 films titled Follow the Process, a comprehensive overview of how to be the best you can be. These 2 next step films will also shortly appear on the end screen. If you're interested in joining our team in Sussex, England, we have interviews each year. There'll be a link to the Wildlife For All website in the description box below. So that's it. I hope I've popped a few myths, exposed the futility of the usual superficial way of doing things, and pointed towards a deeper approach.